بيصمت الميكروفون. استمر في الاتصال، استمر في الكلام، لأنه لما يتكلم الشعب بتتنفذ الديمقراطية.
Looking for the perfect radio partner? iRadio is your answer. Why choose iRadio? Here are the 5 compiling reasons.
Trust and reach. iRadio stands as the most trusted and popular radio station in South Sudan. Backed by recent surveys with a loyal listener base, your message will reach a wide audience effectively.
Extensive network. iRadio is not just a radio station. It's a network of interconnected stations. When you partner with iRadio, we'll broadcast your program across multiple locations such as Wow, Awil, Kwajob, Yambio, Bor, Rang, Malakal, and Baliet, ensuring maximum coverage and impact.
Regional presence. iRadio footprint extends to the states of Western and Northern Bahr el Ghazal, Western and Central Equatoria, Jonglei, Upper Nile, and Warab. By collaborating with iRadio, you can connect with diverse communities and target audiences in these regions.
Community engagement. Partnering with iRadio means engaging with communities at a grassroots levels. Your message will resonate with listeners in various locations, fostering meaningful interactions and driving brand awareness.
Comprehensive coverage with stations in strategic locations like Reng, Malakal, and Baliet. iRadio offers comprehensive coverage that reaches both urban centers and remote areas. Your partnership with iRadio ensures visibility across a wide geographic area.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to amplify your message with iRadio. Partner or advertise with us today and make your voice heard across South Sudan.
Yingeta kolera 20 loron parik lepeng bu bulata to jai dingin nasalan musala ko de ingman ko akotokela ama kata longelo butni tete im lo kolera logon awaya be kata songenana logon ro rogdo ko banginot tete im lo kolera logon awaya lo alo but keti uyo kana ngotuling logon ko nagon ko kinga geleng ko de kinga jinjore morja ngoto wate nagon napiga ko kerijeki bubule wojo ngilo tete im lo kolera logon awaya nyenagon tete im lo kolera logon awaya lo tigbe titiki ngoto logon kode nagon Akile kode amoka kolera keti mwajig lupudie logon ako durekin ko kinga geleng titiki nyilo tete im tuduluki keti kata ko tupe simorek tupe to geleng ko tupe to morek tiki do anyen togo yuringit inod ite ya na kolera tupe to morek tiki ikide na jomalan morek ko iya pala bokier imu kagna tupet to geleng nyina tupet to geleng ro rogdo to joko yapala bokier keti tupet to morek na ro rogdo ko kingajin musala tete im lo kolera lo waya lo ro rogdo ko kuliati bulue city kolera keti toto ko digiwere na kolera ko kuliengoto ilanget bendo ko jarani wojo na tete imi dingin nagon ko tete im lo kolera lo waya konani kona kunu dijur yeye jiadi moju imu kagna gondo aje woju tete im anabot nagon anyendo to kita jo kelan nabot keti tipiri tino be anake tokele toke piong kunong na memete anake dingitan ling dongoni ipiri dongoet bendo ko dongo kango iterere lalane lala keni sikulo ko piong nake ko sobun ke gapari kingerot nagondo ako nyesukinyo ko imu kagna pondia inor kango ipiri dongoet keti kodo ko delelengo to logondo deden kata ko esi ti kolera meddi kato kelanit dedekije kodo ko delelengo to konu di bangko de ilanget kata ko esi ko bulu esi ti kolera jongelonge dedekije ge kadina wini nagon nyona teki kato kelanit ko de duma lo langet anyen nyilongo to woju ngaret tokelet kodo yenga dendia longyo jore peje wazara na kelan ko longa longi ni mirale kang lokana bokier dangini ngwan lolonge jakita ko wazara na kelan ko ngaret na WHO UNICEF ko julin
تقم في جنوب السودان.
The Dawn on iRadio.
Right, a very good morning to you and welcome to the second hour of the Dawn program here on iRadio, a live broadcast from the capital, Juba. I'm your host, Emmanuel Joseph Akile, and today is Wednesday, the 30th of July, 2025, coming to 15 minutes now after the hour of 7, and it is the Martyrs Day, something that we focused on in the first hour of the Dawn, where we had an exclusive interview with veteran Kwol Manyang Juk, who is the senior presidential advisor and the chair of National Transitional Committee. But then in the second hour of the Dawn, we will navigate into the critical topic of cyber crimes and cyber security, exploring how data protection, privacy, and online safety shape our digital lives. So to shed more light on this topic, I'm joined live from the studio by Nelson Kwaje, a technologist and human rights advocate with experience in digital rights, data-driven advocacy, and youth innovation across East and Central Africa. He's also the head of Digital Rights Frontline, formerly known as Defy Head Now. With me in the studio is also Tony Kenyi, the head of cyber safety with the DRF. It's good to have both of you in the studio this morning. Happy Martyrs Day and welcome to iRadio.
Thank you so much for hosting us here.
Yes. Now, Nelson, let me start with you. As more South Sudanese now accessing digital platforms, so tell us what risk do we really face in protecting personal data?
Yeah. So thank you so much for hosting us this morning. One of the significant growth that we have seen over the last few years is the increase in the number of users of internet in South Sudan, and that has significantly been as a result of upgrade of digital technologies across the country from 2G to 3G in a lot of the states, and also in areas of Juba and also other centers from 3G to 4G. What that means is that more people now have access to faster data rates, and we have now the advent of Starlink and other technologies that also makes it easier for people to get online. That also comes with a risk, especially when it comes to data protection, safety, and other issues that we face as a country. Because a lot of the times once people get online, that means also a lot of the things that they used to do offline move online. That means their discussion, their engagement, all these things now moved online. And that, especially in the case of South Sudan, in the absence of the regulations that are supposed to accompany such activity, like from a data protection law, and also a law that protects people against online fraud and whatever, and also law that can link us with the other East African countries, because there are countries already that have framework for protecting and safeguarding such information. Even when you look at issues of digital, what it's called digital financial service, what it's called DFS. So we have Momo, we have internet banking, we have mobile banking. These are all frameworks that takes activities that traditionally used to be offline, like trade, exchange of goods, payments, take it to online. So now it needs the proper regulation also to guide that.
And Tony, tell us what are the most common types of cyber crimes affecting communities today here in South Sudan?
Thank you once more for hosting us here today. Well, just to highlight some of the most online threats that are affecting communities in South Sudan, one of them is cyberbullying, whereby you find an individual or maybe a victim will be harassed or bullied online, and that one itself can lead to psychological problems as well, isolation. You know, when you feel like now you are not part of a society whereby each time when you join them they laugh at you and they make fun of you, you feel like you're now not part of them, and that one will lead to a serious isolation. And the second kind of threat that affects many people is the scams and job offers, free job offers that always comes across. You know, many people are out there really looking for opportunities and all that. So once someone come across such an advert, they take it all positively, like they really wanted to have that job. Now at the end of the time, you will see the the scam that come across them will later on request them like, hey, for you to be part of this program or for you to be accepted, we need you to provide for us your personal details or personal information, such as a copy of your ID, your full name and your phone number, emails, which is again is a digital safety. And digital safety means protecting yourself, protecting your devices that you're using, whether being smartphones, PCs, and etc., even the internet, the network that you're using, as well protecting your personal information. Now, when somebody asks you to reveal or maybe to share your personal information and you never know that person before, that is again a digital safety, and that one leads to scam, and many people are falling for it.
All right.
Yeah.
And let me bring you in, Kwaje, since you talked about cyberbullying and you talked about the crimes or the cyber crimes in general. How are they, or how can they be really addressed? Because you earlier talked about the absence of regulation. So how can these really be addressed?
Yeah. So you need regulations. Then after these regulations are passed, you need the resources, and you need awareness. And those kind of go hand in hand, because a lot of the times now, one of the issues that we had, Tony and I had an engagement with a group of parliamentarians and interagency committees last week with partnership with UNESCO. One of the things that they're discussing now is like two major bills. There is the Cybercrime and Computer Misuse Act, which is a law that's supposed to kind of encompass all the behaviors that constitute either civil or criminal violations. So now we have the penal code, and we have the different laws that kind of protect people and kind of outline kind of crimes. Now that law is supposed not to outline what are the crimes that are related to cyber, and then what is also the appropriate penalty and the appropriate classifications of such things. So like we have issues like identity theft. How do you protect against it? We have issues of impersonation. We have issues of that. Now we have another law that is being discussed, still at the very nascent stage, and that is the Data Protection Act. So the Data Protection Act is now supposed to safeguard and outline how data should be handled and processed. And that is also like, it's not mainly on criminality, but it's on kind of regulating. Like for example, you have a lot of your information with the Office of the Immigration. You have information with your bank, for example. You're transacting information on your bank. Should your bank give this information to another third party without your information, without your knowledge? And we have like information with your telecom, and then how long should they keep this information? Like for example, I go and I eat at a restaurant, I process something there that I'm at this restaurant. How long should that information be kept? So these are like the two things. I know that the Cybercrime and Computer Misuse Act is a bit in an advanced stage now. I think it's in Parliament. It's supposed to go like third reading or something like that. And it needs also public comment so that we know what we're actually discussing. And the Data Protection Act is the one that has still not taken shape.
And also, in your experience, how prepared are local institutions really to respond to these emerging cybersecurity threats today here?
They are not prepared. I think the level, that's one of the discussions we're saying, the level of preparedness should be probably below 30%. Because when you look at the let's say the criminal justice system, so you're looking at the police, the enforcement agencies, you're looking at the investigators, the prosecutors, the judges, and then the legislators who pass the law. So now, throughout that chain, you need people who understand what is cybercrime. Because now a lot of the instruments that we have are ready for physical crimes. They are not ready for cybercrime, because cybercrime is Tony will tell you, this is a very elusive space where you'll never know who is the perpetrator and what is the instrument that was used to commit this crime. So we need to have this. And we also now need to have agencies that are able to deal with institutions that handle these things. Like, for example, if someone, let me say someone steals your Momo PIN and transfers money to another third party. Now, is that the problem? Is it the problem with Momo itself? Who should be held responsible? Is it the problem with the person who stole your ID? or is a problem with the recipient of that money. So a lot of these issues need a very, very critical minds, and at times also liability of institutions. So for example, an institution that is holding your money, maybe say like the bank or the what, to what extent can they be held liable for negligence or improper use of that, of the authority? Like at times you see you have a bank account, your bank keeps deducting money and just sending you notification. Now, how much of that deduction is actually in the contract, or how much of it have they just changed without your notice? Did you consent to those? So those are all a lot of issues that our institutions are not sufficiently actually ready to handle at the moment.
Right, and I want you to add something on what he was saying, since you mentioned earlier, Tony, about what does the cybercrime really entail?
Come again?
The cybercrime, the details of cybercrime, and maybe to break it down to the public there. When you say cybercrime, what does it really mean to a layman language down there?
Okay, cybercrime in a layman language, these are simply bad activities that are being done in the online space, or let me say internet. And when we talk about internet is a huge, let me say, vast space that takes like so many users. And the kind of crime that happen there, I've already highlighted two of them. But if I'm to add, there is also one of the trends that is like going on seriously, especially in South Sudan, which is called revenge porn. We call it revenge porn, whereby you find your intimate photos and videos that are not meant to be like shared publicly or maybe exposed. You find them just out there on the internet. And what is that one actually doing to an individual or a victim? It can cause them serious trauma as well. It can also damage their reputation, and can make them feel like harassed as well, and people will laugh at them. And we have received number of cases related to that, but we as Safety.com were able to respond into such cases by at least doing some counseling to the victims that have encountered such an incident. As well, we tried our best also to reach out to our partners such as Meta, so that at least if such content is circulating through Facebook platform, for instance, they can be able to flag them down.
And do you think, actually, maybe Kwaji can add something, but I want you first to respond to this. Do you think people who have better access to internet, you earlier talked about 2 GB and 3 GB, but some people in other countries have like access to 5G, for instance, internet. Do you think they have advantage over people who have low access to internet, like 2G, for instance, in terms of cybercrime?
Not actually. I cannot say they have advantage, because as long as you are able to access the internet, we are all there together.
So the speed doesn't matter. The speed of the internet.
The speed of the internet doesn't matter.
Right. And Kwaje, tell us, what role can media and public education in general really play in promoting safer online behavior and also digital hygiene?
I mean, you see, this is one of them right now. Awareness is, I think, actually one of the major issues that we need to do. I mean, now we're talking about these issues. I think awareness as a media and public institutions, that is one of the things. But also the media can play a role in trying to encourage victims to speak up. Because one of the problems that we have in South Sudan, a lot of the people who fall victims to these crimes, they don't talk. Like if we have incidents of women, someone takes your intimate images and they now want to use it to shame you. And the ideal situation as a society, we need to find ways so that we empower victims so that they have a voice. And then we also have issues where people's money is being stolen, but no one talks. So when people don't talk, what happens is that such things continue to occur. And especially and I think public institutions can try to bring, and media can try to bring, to highlight such cases.
And also I want to ask you about the personal data currently. How is it being collected and is stored by government, or let's say private entities? And are there safeguards in place? Because you earlier talked about lack of regulations, but then this is something to be done by the government. But what about private sectors and other institutions in terms of ensuring that the personal data is safeguarded?
I think for now it is mainly guided through, especially with private entities, guided through, it's licensed private entities, guided through the framework of the license. Like right now, when you look at the mobile MNOs, the mobile network operators, what a lot of the framework of their data is being handled through the license that they were given. So, for example, if you're given a license for internet service provider, the regulating body for that entity, which is the National Communication Authority, gives you guidelines for that license. It's sufficiently actually very stringent and very clear on what that should be done. But the problem is that because you do not have an entity that's actually in charge specifically for that data protection, it becomes a bit hard. At times, the burden of it becomes too much for the regulator because they're handling, like, for example, this media house, iRadio, the data that media house iRadio is handling, that is governed through the license that is given to them by the media authority. So that license governs maybe what kind of data, what kind of handling, what kind of what. But it is not very sufficient because it mainly focuses on content, but it does not focus on data. We have more kind of difficult issues because the problem here is not only protecting the data, but it's also making sure that the data is useful and data is collected for right purpose. Like, for example, in this country, we have an issue where we collect a lot of data at times for no use. Like, for example, you have your information on the traffic. The traffic collects a lot of information, which I actually call it dead information. You have, like right now, if I ask you, if I go to the traffic office, how many violations have you committed since the beginning of this year? Each of these violations is written, but it's of no use. This traffic police officer writes one, the other one writes another one, this one writes for you. But now when you go to a country like even in this Uganda, across the border, if your car commits an offense, that offense is recorded. They will know that at this time, on this date, on this road, this guy crossed this and this and this. And over time,
computerized.
It's computerized because what the importance of this is not only to protect the data, but to make use of it so that we know if there are accidents happening on this road, is it an issue of the intersection? Is it an issue of people getting drunk at that club? Or is it an issue of what? So, like right now in South Sudan, we don't have that. And it even makes it hard for us to track crime. We record people who are coming in and enter at the border. Then we say they go and get an alien registration. From an alien registration, we also ask them to get a work permit. From work permit, we ask them to get other things. Now, are all these things linked? From your work permit to your alien registration to all these things are not linked. So at the end, we collect a lot of information disjointly. But if we wanted to use it for a meaningful thing, it is very hard. Yeah.
And Tony, something that is maybe Junubin would really want to know, if I have my tablet or I have my phone or I have my gadget, how safe is it really when I'm sitting with my friends or let's say sometimes children, sometimes someone will say, let me see this photo, let me see your phone, let me see this. And at some point maybe I will fall victim of not actually safeguarding my data or my information on my phone. So how best would you advise people who are actually carrying smartphones outside there to ensure that the personal data is actually safe?
Thank you once again. Being cyber smart does not need you to be a computer expert, genius, something of that kind. But when you do some basic steps, that will be enough for you to really have a safer digital experience. One of the things, security starts with you actually. Like when you have your smartphone, how can you secure your phone? When you don't want anybody to have access to your phone, for instance, if you are a parent, for instance, and you don't want your kids to have access to your phone, you need to set a screen lock on your phone. And you should be the only one who knows the PIN or maybe the password on your phone. And many people, when it comes to setting a security or maybe a screen lock on your phone, something of that kind, when it comes to password, they use simple passwords such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 8. Others use zeros 4 times or maybe 5 times, which can be guessed by even a young child who can guess that one and can get it right. So you need to set at least a strong password on your phone so that you're the only one who can be able to access your phone. And then when someone asks your phone, like, hey, just assist me with your phone willingly, and you are the one giving to that person your phone by yourself, if you have some private, for instance, some private document that you don't want anybody to access, or maybe some memories that you want to keep it personal for yourself, you need to use a vault, or maybe you need to encrypt them meaning like you have to lock them using a password or maybe a PIN, something of that kind, so that when somebody opens the document or maybe trying to access your private data, they cannot be able to do that because they will find it is locked and it needs your permission to do that. Now, when somebody tells you that, hey, please, can you unlock for me this? Of course, you will not give to them. And lastly, least but not the least, they have to always, as an individual, you need to keep your phone all the time updated. You know, there are some old version we all use is some apps that we are interacting with each and every day, and these apps need to be updated from time to time. Now, when you don't update your app, sometimes it can also lead to a security kind of breach on your phone. For instance, if you're using WhatsApp and all that, if it is outdated, you know, there's that WhatsApp called GB. By then, people were using it seriously, and that WhatsApp is not authentic. It's not from Meta, and it can actually transfer your data without you knowing. There are people who are still using it right now, but it is not encourageable, like for people to be using it each and every time. And what I experienced, like from people that I have interacted with for the past few years, there are only 3 characteristics that are really causing all this. One is that people are so trusting. They are trusting in a trustful kind of nature. When somebody asks you, for instance, hey, my account is at risk, I need you to help me. There is no one else who can help me except from you. So I'm sending you this. Please just do some few steps to help me so that I can get back my account or something of that kind. Now, you with your kindness, and you don't want someone else to be cut off, you will go ahead and then support them. And secondly is that people are so curious. For instance, when you find a flash drive on the ground, when you carry that flash drive, what are you going to do next with it? Of course, you'll plug it on your PC, on your whatever device that you have, because you want to check what is there inside that drive. And the third one is that people are informed, like they are not well informed of those things. When it comes to sharing of information, they don't think before they share information. They just share without even taking a little time to reason a bit. Especially when somebody said, can you please, like when you have your private or personal kind of data that you have on your phone, and somebody said, unlock for me this, I want to see. You have to reason for some few minutes. Why is this person asking this? But you cannot just go ahead and then unlock and then give them.
Right. And Kwaje, if someone is bullying me online under this cyber crime and actually violating my right online, what should I do? And what would be your advice to such a person?
I think it depends. So just to be clear, like there are a lot of behaviors that are uncomfortable, that are bad, but most of it do not constitute crime. So especially when it comes to online. So most of the time we ask people actually to take your own caution first, because like insults, for example, insults are not crimes, are not actually violations even of social media rules. So a lot of times we ask people to protect your own space, like, and it differs. Like you, for example, you're reasonably a public official, in the public, because you're a journalist. I think the threshold of the things that you should handle is a bit bigger than the public. So at times people say, hey, you, they can say a lot of things. Even for me, people can eat you from this, from that, from what. I usually will advise people who are kind of appear in public platforms, whether you're a journalist or you're what, you should develop a bit of a thick skin so that you don't take a lot of these things personally. Because once you have a public platform, a lot of people are going to have an opinion about you. So you should not take this, because I say this because a lot of people say stuff to me, and I over time I've grown to say, like, you know what, that's fine, like I don't need to take it personal. So, and then the second thing is you need to try to protect your mental health. Like if you're not ready to read these things, don't get into them, because it can be really so much. In terms of the law, we usually, whenever, no, let me say this. So let me talk about like reporting violations on social media. If you're reporting violations, you need to cite the specific violation. So in case if it's hate speech, if it is misinformation,
Right.
incitement to violence, or at times against your personal thing.
Right.
So you need to be able to report it.
Right, bring us about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's go for this short break, and when we get back, we'll pick a few calls. 0911 or 229 Remember, we're also live on our Facebook page. You can also drop your question or your comment there after this break.
The Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with rotavirus vaccine, targeting all children aged between 6 to 10 weeks. Take your child to the nearest health center during the African Vaccination Week or the Big Catch Up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Nyandeng.
Good morning, Mama Mercy. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Mercy for rota vaccine at the health center to protect my child against rotavirus diarrhea in infants and children. She was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Mercy already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes. She needs to be vaccinated with at least 2 doses of rota vaccine at 6 and 10 weeks to be fully vaccinated, immunized, and protected against rotavirus.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be a vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, rotavirus vaccines are effective in preventing diarrhea and deaths in infants and young children. This vaccine has just been introduced this year, 2025. A lot of children were not vaccinated. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get diarrhea.
I didn't know that rotavirus is that serious, that it can even cause death.
Yes. Rotavirus is a life-threatening disease caused by the virus. The signs are fever and vomiting, followed by watery diarrhea, and can cause abdominal pain and dehydration. Children who survive may be dehydrated, which can cause serious complications.
Dehydrated or serious complication? Oh, that sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with rota vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for these vaccines? Hope it's not late.
No, you are not late. Rota vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all health facilities and designated health centers located in your areas. Tell all your neighbors with children between 6 to 10 weeks to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest health center for rota vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest vaccination site and protect them from rotavirus and vaccine-preventable diseases. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO and UNICEF.
Your eye on South Sudan. Your eye on South Sudan.
مرحبا بك مرة ثانية مستمع راديو في كل مكان. لسه بتسمع للبث المباشر لبرنامج الدون، وبنتكلم في موضوع بالغ الأهمية بيتعلق بالجرائم الإلكترونية والأمن الإلكتروني، وكمان كيف بيستكشفوا كيفية التأثير بتاعه على حماية البيانات والخصوصية والسلام عبر الإنترنت في حياتنا الرقمية. وده الوقت اللي فيه نرفع المكالمات لضيوف بتاعنا في الاستوديو اللي هم نيلسون كواجي وتوني كيني، كلهم من منظمة المعروفة بديجيتال رايتس فرونت لاين أو DRF. عندك أي سؤال لضيفنا في الاستوديو دلوقتي اتصل علينا على 11 أو 22 986 986. Hello Radio, good morning.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
Yes, good morning. Ding from Wa, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, the two topics, this two, cybersecurity, cyber science, schooling, others, some of us are working up, but we are very poor in technology. I'm one of the people who don't trust anything in technology. And sometimes we can get that there are some links to and beneficial. And we say we've got to understand that other countries, people are competing, people do here. But here, we are not doing that so much. Why is it that our social media platforms are not monetized now? What is happening? And the young South Sudanese will benefit from this. still nothing is happening in that one. Other thing is that what do we do?
All right. All right, we have to leave it there. We got your question. I think he's talking about social media not being monetized, and for us of South Sudan, especially for young people, to benefit from it. Yes, I radio. All right, get back to us on the same line, 0911 or 22986 about 14 or 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Be brief and straight to your point. I radio. Hello, radio. Yes. صباح النور. منو معنا؟ منو؟ يوانس من ياكورين. تفضل.
هلا.
سؤالك طوالي سؤالك.
السؤال بقول كده إن الجرام الموجود في الميديا منو بيكون موصول له؟ أنا أكون موصول أنني أي شباب موجود كشباب تجار البشر لابد قانون بتعامل معه كيف وقمته كيف في التكنولوجيا الموجودة.
All right, shukran jazilan. It's talking about the crimes committed on social media, especially cyber crimes, who's to be held accountable or who's responsible, and he's talking about the issue of laws not being in place, something like the one Kwaji talked about earlier. I radio.
Hello?
Yes?
It is Undo Valente from Zara.
Undo?
Undo Valente.
Yes, Undo, welcome from Zara.
Yeah. I just need to ask about now if someone commit a crime against me on a social media and I know the person, and who should I report to? And if their office is not within the state, I think so.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. For now, we come back to, I guess, in the studio to respond to the three important questions from Deng, from Wow, Johannes, from Juba, and then Undo from Nzara there in Western Equatoria State. But then I think because of the line breaking, let's pick two more calls so that we can respond at once before we can wind up. I radio. I radio.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
David Magog from Wow.
David Magog, welcome.
My brother, it is nice that you brought the people concerned in the studio, and I have two questions to them. Number one, social media remain as a fighting ground now, which is connected to politics and tribalism. As the people concerned, where is your role here so that you just block or even help the government so that the country remain in peace instead of creating the problem all the time? This is number one. Number two, there are people who are now locking in themselves into the accounts of other people and write something which is not the concern of the owner of the account. Where is the way forward here? How will you help the people of South Sudan? Because 3/4 of South Sudanese, they like social media, but they don't know exactly of what to do inside, only to see the videos or the photos, but they are not sure of how to protect it. Lastly, is about the report. If somebody is attacking you or is just violating the things in social media, what is the simplest way that somebody with the lowest education background, how will he really try his best to report so that you can get that information? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, David Magog. I radio.
Good morning, Manuel.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, I was just this is Jack Ding again. Just one question.
Yes, go to the second Ding.
Yeah, it was about the link. Because there are links that we don't understand in WhatsApp and in Facebook. So I want to know which one is good link so that you can create awareness through iRadio now. Thank you.
All right. Links on social media or Facebook in particular. Thank you, Ding. We have 4 callers with some questions. Yes, about 12 minutes to wind up. Let me start with you, Kwaje, and then we come to Tony. Yes, you can respond to the question.
Yes, I think there was a question first about monetization, and then there's a question about who is in charge of online crimes, who can be administering that. The question of monetization is a bit so maybe I explain to the audience who probably don't know what monetization is. So monetization is basically the ability to earn money from your content. So for that to happen, that means the people who view your content, they look at ads. So those ad revenue that Facebook gets every time you promote your posts and what, those ad revenues are supposed to be shared with content creators who have large following or who have large viewership. Now, a lot of our neighboring countries have this. Like, you can monetize in Kenya, you can earn money from your content. It creates a lot of things. The issue is in South Sudan, it actually goes back to those laws that I said. Because for you to have monetization, the country needs to have the regulations for these platforms. And also you need to have the integration of the monetary system. Like, you need to be paid via Momo or whatever other system. So right now in South Sudan, we don't have those. So anyone who create content in South Sudan, from South Sudan, it's very hard for them to monetize unless they use another country for it. That's a discussion that has been ongoing with the regulator and the concerned individuals over the last 1 or 2 years. And hopefully once we have the right framework in place, we'll be able to kind of bring that from Meta. For now, there is no monetization from Meta, TikTok, and what. And it's a bit sad. I think a lot of young people will be able to earn from it. The question on who is in charge. في سؤال عن ضمنه يا هو بكون مسؤول من جرائم زي ده. في دول كتير في حاجة بقول له شرطة الأمن الإلكتروني. What do you call the cyber security police. So الشرطة بتاع الأمن الإلكتروني ده هم مسؤولين من تحقيق وضبط الجرائم الإلكترونية. So حاجات زي ده كان بيحتاج كان علينا عملنا القانون، كان قانون أجازه. بعد ما يجيزوا القانون بعد ده بيخطوا تدريب للشرطة المتخصصة في الأمن الإلكتروني، وهم بيكون المسؤولين. أنا هنا كمنظمة بتاعت واي والادفوكسي شغلنا ما اننا نقدر ننفوذ ذا لوس، شغلنا اننا نعمل اويرنس، نزيد من الوعي المجتمع، وعي في المجتمع عن الحاجات دي. بعد الجهات المختصة بتقدر تكون عندها تدخل في حاجات زي ده. Let me go to the last there was a question here. Let me talk about the question about the politics and tribalism online. Then Tony can take the other things. I think Tony can take like impersonation and account, whatever. So the question on kind of tribalism and things online, the problem that we're facing is that a lot of the young people who are educated and unemployed now put themselves to earn from political smearing campaigns. You see these things a lot of the time. Someone says, hey, this person needs to be decreed out, and a lot of content around it. Some of these are actually paid political campaigns. And unfortunately, there are people who make money from this by doing this smearing campaign and stuff like that. And also some people now do this tribal thing as a very dedicated thing. And unfortunately, this can actually cause, and probably has caused, a lot of damage in our society. Even you see the incident in Nasir. 1 month before that incident, the build-up online in terms of tension, I don't think that it was too much, and even afterwards. So this is the kind of issues that we need to address it actually as a country. We need to find avenues that to regulate this, and also to talk to our youth so that we don't make this into, we don't actually tear our country using social media.
Right, thanks for that. Tony, you can pick up from there. Yes.
Yeah, just to wrap it up, things to deal with impersonation cases. You know, there are so many bad actors out there. Like, for instance, if you are a public figure or maybe somebody who's well known, someone can just use your username and then the photo that you have on your profile, or maybe one of the photos you have uploaded some time ago, and then create another account claiming to be you. Then because you have a number of followers or something of that kind, you realize when an impersonator happened to create a fake account out there, they will use it intentionally just to for their own gain, for instance, financial gain. I want to give an example with a case that we have received. There is a lady who happened to travel to Rwanda for studies, and then she has a number of followers, and someone just created a fake account from nowhere, impersonating her, started to sharing posts that, hey, I'm finally on the airport, finally arrived, and all that. Then all of a sudden, the same account that has been created, they shared a post that, hey, I don't know, like, how did this happen to me, but right now I'm at hospital, I need your help, guys, and this is my number, so please help me, because right now I don't have anything in my hand. Now when you find somebody whom you love happen to have such an incident, of course you will not be happy. You will just go straight away to help them out. And that one is a financial gain to the person who has impersonated you, the real owner of the account. Now, when we talk about reporting, when you experience such an incident to you, the best thing that you can do, for instance, if it is impersonation or things to deal with harassment and all that, you have to report. Because if you don't report, it will be like really hard for someone, even those who are close to you, to know like what you're going through, maybe what you have experienced. Because when you report, you'll be able to receive the support at least that you needed in that moment. Now, when we talk about links on social media and other platforms, all, every link, you cannot be so sure that all links are secured, or maybe they're legit, because any bad actor can just create a malicious link and then can give it a nice name. So by the time you're just reading it like this, you will feel like, okay, because of the curiosity that I mentioned earlier, you will go ahead to click on the link and then see what is there. So it is good for you to first check the link, to check any link that you come across, whether it is secure or not, by accessing some free platforms like Virus Total. That is a free tool that anyone can use. VirusTotal.com. When you search for it, you can just copy the URL, the link that you have received, whether on WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, anywhere. You just paste it there and then you do a scan, then it will generate a result, whether the link is malicious or suspicious or it is clean.
Right. Thanks. And finally, Kwaji, let me come to you. And briefly, before we can wind up, are there specific vulnerabilities affecting children or marginalized groups online? And what protective measures do you think are really needed here?
Yes, especially for children. So for children, one of the biggest vulnerabilities is access to unwanted or whatever unrated content. On media we have different ratings, like below 16, below what. But on social media, unfortunately, those things are not very clear. So one of the ways, there is something called Facebook for Children, where the parent will have control over that account. So you will have the control, the child has that account, and then you have control over it, so that you can regulate, you can do different kind of settings. For Wi-Fi and home use, you can actually you can do safe mode on your Wi-Fi router, so that the content is filtered. And even you see this with Netflix, you have kids. So a lot of these things, each of them has a mode for controlling. Unfortunately, the issue that we have in South Sudan, most of the children are more digital literate than the parents. So at times your kids are the ones who are probably have more of this. So it becomes a bit of difficulty. But usually we advocate. In a lot of countries we have parents control groups where like these kids are now taken through. One of the things that you see now, kids get radicalized, and we need to find ways. Before you know it, at times, even you see this in other countries, kids leave the home and go join gangs or go join terrorist groups and what, as a result of radicalization. So we need to find ways of controlling this through the concerned authorities.
Right. Thank you both. Thank you very much, Nelson Kwaji, the head of Digital Rights Frontline, and also Tony Kenyin, head of Cyber Safety with the DRF. Thank you both, gentlemen, for joining us on the Dawn today, and happy Mother's Day to both of you.
Thank you.
Yes, and with that, we have come to the end of the Dawn edition for today. Join us again tomorrow morning at the same time to get the latest on what's happening in South Sudan and beyond the borders. Up next, news in Arabic. On behalf of the Dawn team, Paulino Atier, Awan Moses, Geoffrey Amanya, and producer Barre Johnson, this has been Emmanuel Joseph Akile. Do have a good day, stay safe, stay blessed, and we continue to remember our martyrs. I leave you with a song coming to you from Emmanuel Kembe. Good morning.